G'day champion, it's Stuart Stone here from Financial Freedom Over 40, and today's message is for all you guys trapped in the 9 to 5 rat race. So let's get into it. Okay guys, you know what to do by now. Like and comment on this video, subscribe to our channel, ring the notifications bell so you get notified and never miss a video. And now let's get into today's message. So today's video takes us back to when I was a full-time chiropractor in downtown Sydney, Australia. And today's story starts with Peter. And Peter was a client of mine, lovely guy, family man, young family. But Peter used to spend every hour of every single day at work. He worked for one of the big merchant banks. I won't name which bank it is, but if you're Australian, I just gave it away. And he put 20 years of his life, heart and soul into that job. So he'd be in the office by 8 in the morning, he'd leave his home 6:30 in the morning to get to work, and he quite often would be lucky to get home in time to tuck his kids into bed, or most often he'd miss their bedtime and then spend the weekend absolutely exhausted trying to play catch up to do it all again. So lovely guy, loved his family, but didn't have much of a chance to be a family man. Anyway, fast forward. He came into my office on his 20-year anniversary of working for this bank. And to say he was pissed off would be an understatement. He came in, he had a shitty pen and a shitty watch, and his words were, "These assholes, this is what I got for 20 years of my life to these pricks." Threw the pen and the watch in the bin and basically called them every name under the sun. We had a bit of a conversation, and he said he was going back to his office to resign. Now, bit of a stark wake-up call, bit of a shock to my system, seeing that for the first time. And so I sort of pulled the watch and the pen out of the bin and put them aside in case Peter had a change of heart. But turns out, yes, he did resign. Now, over the ongoing 2, 3, 4 months, what I noticed in Peter, he'd gone prematurely grey. He became more energetic, more happy, more relaxed. He got to spend more time with his children, and he actually got to spend time working on his passions and the things he wanted to do in business. So he set up a consulting business, and hey, fast forward, life never was the same. He was earning better, he was being the classic family man. But the reason for today's story, it's the story of the fist in the bucket of water. And the principle that Peter taught to me was, in the corporate world, in the 9 to 5, imagine yourself as a fist in a bucket of water. And what that means is, he went back to his job 3 weeks after he'd left, and it was like he'd never existed there. So life had moved on, the corporate world had moved on, and he just realized that he was just a cog in the wheel. So the analogy goes like this: if you stick your fist into a bucket of water and then you pull it back out, and you look into the bucket of water, where was your fist? It's like it was never there, it never existed. And that's the analogy that he taught to me in the corporate world. He realized that just after 3 weeks of being out of that environment, no one knew, no one cared, no one had called him up to see how he was or to see how his family was. He was just a mindless drone and a number. And so same thing goes for any big organization. Once you leave, you're surpassed, you're taken over, you don't exist anymore, you're forgotten. So what's the principle of today's video? Well, the key principle is, as a corporation, their responsibility, if they're publicly listed, is to their public shareholders or their private shareholders and the owners, the boss in the business. Same thing if you work on a building site where you're building high rises. Again, the main company, their function is to their primary shareholders and the owners. And same thing through every corporate classic rat race 9 to 5 job. So if that's their responsibility, you got to ask yourself the question, what are my responsibilities? And the short answer is, you have a responsibility to yourself, to your family, to your kids. That's where it begins, that's where it ends. So if working in a corporate environment allows you to serve and look after your own family as well as doing the greater good for the company, great, good news, everyone's a winner. But if you are living the corporate dream and building their goals while letting go of your own and neglecting your family and breaking down relationships with your kids and your wife, and things are starting to go very out of balance and you're only doing it for the money, well, maybe I would suggest rethinking the situation and setting up a side gig moving forward. So yeah, we've outlined the problems. Now let's start looking at a couple of solutions. So over the coming weeks, I'm going to talk to you about my journey, specifically how I transitioned out of being a chiropractor. And for those of you that know me a bit more, you know that I had an injury where I broke a bone in my neck, and it gave me a real wake-up call to say, right, I want to be doing things more on my terms. I want to have the freedom to do them from anywhere in the world. I want to have the freedom where I'm not tied to any specific industry. I need to learn some high-income skills. So that's what I've been doing over the last couple of years, and we're going to talk to you more and more about high-income skills, what they are, and what ones worked for me and maybe some that worked for you. So stay tuned to this channel. If you want to keep abreast of that information, make sure you subscribe, click the like, click the notifications, leave a comment below on the sort of things that you want to learn. And hey, Stu, you're a good guy over here. We'll go and find it, source it, and point you in the right direction. And along the way, we'll also get rid of a few of the sharks and shonks out there as well. So that if you're looking as a side gig or looking to take over with something new, we can supply that to you. Talk to you again soon.